Hello. Where are you guys? I can't see you. Sorry. Okay. Hi, how are you? I'm going to warn everybody who has an aversion to babies and dogs. Both are present today, and Sugar Bear had his 15-month checkup. He had 4 shots, so he is bound to cry. He's nursing right now, but if that bothers you, please exit now. Hey, Bama Green Eyes, how are you? What's good in the neighborhood? So, Sarah has an attorney. And we have some IMS records that we're going to go through, but first we're going to go through the attorney. How is it? How are you doing, Bama? How's the weather where you are? Can you hear me okay? Oh yeah, Deanna said for Sugar Bear, so that means you guys can hear me. Okay. You might hear his oh no, he just went to sleep now. Oh my god. He took it like a champ though. He only cried a little bit. I held him super tight and we did deep breathing, deep breaths. So okay, so I had to click on this. Girl, I couldn't get this up fast enough. I was like, let me get him some Tylenol. A friend of mine had surgery, so was sending her lunch. So I was like, that's why I'm late. So I'm sorry, but let's get into it without further delay. The Orange County website has blessed us. Do I want to be in the corner? Okay, I'm gonna go slow because this is the way that I like it. I was rushing last time. Okay. So this was filed 8:30 at 8:52. So August 30th today at 8:54. Defense motion for continuance. Actually, let me start with. No, yeah, that's what I need to file. I'll start with this one. Okay. Comes now the defendant by and through the undersigned attorney. And when I read that, I was like, I knew she was going to file for a continuance, but when I was like undersigned attorney, I scrolled all the way to the bottom. I couldn't get this live stream like scheduled soon enough, trying to get everything done so I can be here with you guys. So under Rule 3.190 of the Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure, and requests this court to grant a continuance of the 3-week jury trial set to begin October 7th, 2024, and alleges the defendant is set for trial by jury on October 7th, 2024. Side note, defendant will be 47 on October 10th, 2024. That's not in here, but I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect. The defendant has just retained defense counsel, and a notice of appearance was filed on Friday, August 30th, 2024. 38 days remain before trial. Defense counsel has met with the defendant 4 times at the Orange County Jail: August 20th, August 21st, August 26th, and August 27th. So we have the log. They checked it in today. So if we would have gotten this earlier, we would have known. Well, maybe we would have known. But anyway. During these meetings, the defendant disclosed potential exculpatory evidence on her phone. Oh, I knew it. That is why she keeps asking for the phone, you guys. You guys were right. Okay. So exculpatory meaning it would get her out of this. I believe she's trying to go back to probably when George hit her or something else. But anyway, she wants that phone. That's why she keeps asking about it. Remember, she was going to extract it herself. I was like, girl, did you go to forensic digital analysis while you were in jail? Do they have that class? Evidence includes photographs, not videotapes. This was in 2020. Who was doing videotapes? Calendars, text messages, notes, and witness names and numbers. If you don't go to Google and research these witness names and numbers, like what are the odds they have the same number 4 years ago, especially like the witnesses, at least like her landlord, the neighbor, because their phone numbers have been plastered all over the internet. But anyway, this evidence will potentially corroborate her anticipated battered spouse syndrome defense under Rule 3.201 of the Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure. undersigned counsel has spoken with numerous potential expert witnesses, covering a range of possible defenses. Counsel is also actively vetting several additional experts upon directives from inserted parties. So he's got to be doing this pro bono, right? So he's probably going to do like what Mauricio Padilla did and still run everything through the JAC as far as cost. But I'm wondering, we have to go back and look at these dates because I want to know now, what date did she file the motion for the neuropsych? Was she already in talks with him? Now we gonna be real nosy. We got to go back to the other IMS too and see. I wish we knew how long they were there. Actually, it may not even be on the IMS because unless something went wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like that wouldn't be in the notes. Oh, goodness. Okay. Sorry. It is I'm actually glad that she's getting an attorney, like, for real, for real. I want this to go seamlessly for the Torres family so that when she is convicted, it's a solid case, because even though Kranig was very thorough in his 16-page order and citing all of his reasons, I feel like no matter what, that would have been something mentioned on appeal. Do you know what I mean? But Kranig has already said, come hell or high water, this is starting on the 7th. It doesn't matter if she gets new counsel. But then he kind of waffled a little bit when he said, like more time would be allowed provided there was a good reason or something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing. But yeah, so anyway, because she's been dicking around in there, not doing all of her like discovery review. She still hasn't filed that motion. She had to file it by last Friday if she had any opposition to a piece, one or all pieces of the state's 9 digital files that were sent to her, and she never put any of that in. I think, what did she would have to file? I can't remember what it's called, but like if she's opposed to it, she was meant to like write that in. Okay, it is the professional opinion of counsel that the retention of one or more of these experts and the development of the aforementioned defenses is a crucial and necessary component of the defendant receiving full and competent representation and due process under the law. So he's putting this on the record, basically trying to punk Judge Kranig, like, this is going to be an appealable issue if you don't grant this. Like, he's full-throated, 10 toes deep in this. Based upon the conversations that have occurred, counsel has learned that proper diagnosis and development of said defenses require not only for administering appropriate testing, but also the necessity that any expert testifying on behalf of the defendant be given adequate time to establish a trusting, good luck, relationship. Listen, if Mauricio Padilla did not establish a trusting relationship after 2 years, it's not going to happen. So this right here assumes that the defendant can establish a trusting relationship, right? So this is not a matter of fact. Assumes things not in evidence. Because for all we know, like the 4 attorneys that we've seen, or the 5, each one she's had trust issues with, and she cited the trust issue. So this is a big leap. Anyway, he's trying. And then be allowed to apply the analytical tools to the information developed from interviews with the defendant and supplement it with historical and documentary information from third parties. Okay, where are you guys? So here's my take on it, right? Kranig said no, no more extensions, but now this one is coming on, and I felt like she was leaning toward a continuance. Remember when she filed for the neuropsychologist, because that person is going to need time to test her, and she hasn't even been approved for cost. So let's just say what the hearing is on September 3rd, if that is, which is Tuesday, if that is approved for cost, they still have to have time to evaluate her. Now, building this trusting relationship, I don't know. Like in the Wade Wilson case, they were what, a week, and they met with him and went on. Not that it ended well for him, but I mean, we have the video of Sarah taunting him. So where in the battered spouse, we'll have to look that up. Like, does that say that's a thing of like you're teaching them a lesson and then accidentally kill him? Because she's repeatedly said it was unintentional. So And she couldn't in that moment have been afraid for her life because he was locked in a suitcase. If she felt threatened, she could have just called the police and then they would have came and collected him in the suitcase. You know what I mean? Like you would diffuse that immediately. So I don't know. I don't know where this guy is going, where he came from. I mean, do you think that Judge Kranick is going to, oh, I wish I knew how to do a poll, is going to grant, let me see if I go over on the YouTube side because I'm in StreamYard. Do you think he will grant this extension, like to keep himself, just to keep it all above board? You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, it's not giving me, I don't know how to do a poll. Sorry, guys. Oh, here it is. Start a poll. Um, do you think Kranick will grant a continuance? Hopefully I spelled continuance right. And if he's going to grant it, I guess for how long? Oh, they're coming in. Yes. Oh, 60%. You guys are fast. Okay. I don't think he should grant it until next year, though, like maybe 30 days, because it's been 4.5 years. This happened February 24th, 2020. You know what I mean? Like he's coming in last minute to save the day where other 5 other attorneys could not. Like I'm super sus. Okay. Um Kathy, Christy, he already told her even if she got it. That's what I'm saying, right? But I'm like wondering now that one, they think there's exculpatory evidence on this phone that she wasn't able to see before, and none of her previous attorneys were able to locate, right? Because they all had access. Now, I understand that she can't see those files without that special program while in the jail, but her attorneys could have seen it. Like they could have played it on their iPhone. I have the files of the suitcase and I can play it on my laptop and on my phone. I have a Mac. I mean, it is the HEIC is the Apple proprietary. So the videos they could have seen if there was there. I understand that some of the Cellbrite stuff you can't see, but they could have asked for them to be extracted as videos and played them. You know what I mean? Like the Cellbrite stuff is going to show more of the metadata, when, where, was the moon in the sky or was the sun due east? You know what I mean? Like, but as far as like the raw material of, yes, this is evidence that earlier that day George beat the hell out of her and she was limping around all day, and then he agreed to get in the suitcase and she saw that as the opportunity to take him out. I mean, I don't know, guys. I'm like super sus about all this. Okay, let's get back over here. Whew. Okay, so based upon the conversation, trusting relationship, and then be allowed to apply the analytical tools to the information developed from interviews with the defendant and supplemented with historical and documentary. We read that. So I'm calling bullshit on this because he's saying, one, they need time to establish a trusting relationship and then be allowed. So they're not even going to come in. And how long is this trusting relationship? And where is it happening? At the jail? They're going to build it in like a jail. She already said she was like in the, maybe that's a video call. It's like she's in this dorm with all these people listening to the video call. So I guess they'll have to go in person and request a separate room. Captain D. Giovanni is going to love that. They can request a separate room. It doesn't mean that they're going to get it, right? But I imagine like when you go in with your attorney, I would hope you get a private room when it's your attorney, not random internet attorneys coming in to see you. This process, no shade, no tea, I'm just saying. This process, as described to the undersigned counsel by renowned and respected experts. Who are they? Drop some names. Like Kranick said, when Sarah was like, I talked to sergeants, and he was like, what are their names? I want to know the names of these renowned, respected experts. Cannot be accomplished in the time available before trial, particularly given the JAC ministerial hurdles. Yeah, they are a little, which must be cleared when dealing with an indigent defendant, because he's laying it out. Renowned and respected experts are going to need some cheddar, way more than what the JAC currently has is like their baseline. So they're going to be coming in, they being this guy, James and Sarah, coming in with their hat in their hand, tap dancing for their supper, trying to get this money. But I feel like at this point, well, we'll see. They're going to pull out all stops. Although the hearing is on the 24th for those three attorneys trying to duke it out for $15,000. And the chief judge is taking up that hearing. I'm going to try to get in on that. It has the WebEx, but I don't know if there's like a separate login, or I don't want to bring it down either. Remember when they did the Frankie trial and they had the hearing and like they crashed the system because so many people were trying to hop on their little WebEx or Zoom. So I do not want to interfere. I do not want to cause a delay. Those people need to get paid. Notice of intent to rely on the battered spouse syndrome defense must be filed 30 days before trial. The notice must be filed by September 7th, which is 8 days away. The 7th is a Saturday. So it's either going to have to be done on the 6th or on the 9th. Because the 7th is a Saturday. I mean, I guess, I don't know. You technically can e-file it, but will it be logged on a Saturday? Anybody know? The defendant has been deemed indigent for costs from day one from her $1,000 alimony that she's no longer getting. But her fans, does she have to pay taxes on that? Her fans are sending her money. The defense will need government funds to assist in paying the experts in this field. So that's Florida taxpayer money, y'all. Anybody in Florida, you're funding this. Defense motions, which you should. I mean, that's the way the justice system works. I just feel like you guys should be tired of paying for Sarah 4.5 years later when we have a video. Defense motions will need to be filed concerning the potential Brady material. So this, I'll do a separate thing on it. This was already filed by Patricia Cashman and the against Detective Chelsea, I think it's pronounced Cospel, the female detective. That was already filed and she's been exonerated. They accused her of lying on what was submitted to get a search warrant in another case, which I think she referenced that there were a couple of witnesses when in fact there was only one. And so of course the defense has to try something. So they went in to say that she exaggerated it in order to get the warrant. And then it had to go through a process, and whoever the judge was who granted the warrant was like, I still would have granted the warrant with one or two. Just the fact that there was a witness was enough. But I mean, I'm going to give him his props. You got to try everything for your client, right? Defense is supposed to zealously represent their client. So, okay. He's coming in hot. The defendant has the right to be represented by counsel of her choice. I don't know if she's paying for it or they're doing pro bono. I'll say that. But from when you're getting it for free, like when you're getting it from the state, there's nothing in the language that says it has to be by her choice. In fact, they told her specifically, you don't get the counsel of your choice when you're pro se getting a defense paid for by the county. Now she's still, when you are indigent and getting it. Now she's still indigent, but someone has stepped up to do pro bono work like Mauricio Padilla did, right? And I hope this dude called Mauricio was like, dude, give me the deets. So the defendant attempted to solicit private counsel after the court's order dated June 28th, 2024. How did she attempt? I'm going to show you because I got to put myself back up here, right? We remember this poster that she made and put out. We put it in the break room for her, like she asked, not by the copy machine. Yeah, I don't know, Miss Sarah. I don't know. Like, talk about coming in the 9th. So, defense counsel responded to her advertisement and was retained. He saw the poster. I wonder if he was in the break room. The defendant attempted, after the court's order dated June 28th, the defense counsel responded. He came in on a white horse, he said. I'm glad she didn't turn him away like the other crazies that kept coming to visit her after her. She put out an ad and she seemed surprised that people were coming. Only in Sarah's mind. The defendant is not trying to delay the proceedings or abuse the process by retaining counsel at this late date. I'm glad you added that at this late date because she's been delaying the proceedings and abusing the process previously. But are you saying she won't be doing it futuristically? I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. The defense certifies this motion is made in good faith. Memorandum of law. Oh, we're not going back to the Sixth Amendment, are we? Didn't we just hear about the Sixth Amendment with the couple from California? Okay, and so this is James Owens, Florida bar number. So that is let me just see, I'll show you guys. His bar number 35 ends in 354. So where are you at? Where are you at? So here he is, James Sullivan Owens, ends in 354. His mailing address and physical address, which his office, we're not gonna email him. Santa Rosa County, and he went to Samford University, which I'm wondering, is that in Connecticut? Because no, it's Stanford in Connecticut. I don't know where this law school is. He has a private practice. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys this. I posted on the community page yesterday about the order striking it. He summarily was like, bugger off. This one, what is this? Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second and talk to you guys because I want to see, like, how do I get back to the poll results? I saw 60. Oh, good Lord. Okay, so 66% says no so far. 34% says yes. Can you guys see the results in this? I don't know how to show you if you can't see them. Maybe if you click on it, or can I pin it? Does it let me pin it? No, it just says, oh, thank you. She has a hearing on the 3rd. Yes. Yeah, I posted that 2 days ago about the hearing because it has on there that she's going to be doing her discovery in that hearing. So something must have fallen apart with her and the state, because remember at the previous hearing, the state had said they were working on an agreement, and the judge said, make sure when you do it, it has to be done no later than the 3rd, and you need to submit that it happened and what she reviewed. And then he asked Sarah, ma'am, are you going to do that? Are you willing to? She was like, of course. And so the state was like, but I wasn't going to say anything until after you ruled on the motion that she had for privacy that she did orally. And the who was it? And Orlando Sentinel came in. It started with WFTV, and then Orlando did a joinder motion to follow them, and it was, what was her name? Fugate came in, and the attorney, I believe, for WFTV, but she represented both of them, like, because it was just, they were kind of piggybacking off of that. So that must have fallen apart. And you guys were saying in the comments on that video, it's probably something to do with the phone, because she kept asking about the phone. And sure enough, now there's exculpatory evidence on this phone that she needs to see. And she needs time. And I think that is just bullshit. She needs time to build trust. Like, that seems like an indeterminate amount of time. She didn't build trust with Mauricio Padilla. I'm calling him Mauricio like I slept with him last night. Mr. Padilla. She didn't build time or trust with him after 2 years. So, like, how long? I think that needs to be more specific. And it assumes that she will build trust. So I think you just need to say, like, give her 30 days to allow her time to build, whether she does it or not. Because, I mean, for real, it's Sarah. They could be like, oh, she needs another year to build trust. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be super specific. Let's have it time bound, measurable. Like, because building trust is kind of fluffy. I mean, listen, I believe in therapy. I'm all about therapy, but I don't know that Sarah can build trust. Let me just say it like that. If you guys think different, let me know. These are my 2 cents. Hence, while you're here, why you are here. Okay, so yeah. Oh my God, this is crazy. I want to pin this one, or I want to show this one. Okay, thank you. Yes, Angel Baby 4210. So I will be there. I have to work that day. I know a lot of people are going live. Like I'm a small new YouTube channel, so I don't want to listen. We'll see. I mean, if I'm here and I can do it, maybe, but yeah, I have to get him to school. You know what it is. Mommy things. But I definitely will do a reaction with you guys on it later that night if I don't do it live that morning. Um Why was she sitting in the jury box before? I don't know. I don't want to just jump in the conversation, but she was sitting over there before. She did it when she had counsel, and then when she was pro se, she continued to sit there, and then she made that motion of, because she wanted to be treated equally, fairly, blah blah blah, to what a defense attorney would be doing. And so when she filed that motion to be unshackled and have freedom of movement after that, after he ruled on that, then she went to counsel table. So, yeah, she'll be back in the jury box now if the counsel comes in for her, and she won't sit next to her counsel, I believe, until um well, he already did I don't know. I don't know. Let me not, because he already said she could have freedom of movement and allowed her over there. So now maybe she'll just sit with her attorney now, like when we see Charlie Adelson and those guys come in, and like what Donna did when um when she had that very first hearing in Tallahassee. Maybe before the attorneys didn't want her over there. Actually, before the attorneys were standing, right? When we were going through all those like pre-trial things, they were all standing up. Like, remember how Cashman stood up at the podium? Bankowitz had the hitch in his get along and stood up at the podium. So that might be why. But listen, these are just my 2 cents. I don't know. Let's see. It's possible it seemed nothing was in the works over the past month. Thank you, Christoph. I don't know why I'm in this woman's business, but I'm in her business. She is such a fascinating study in human behavior, though. So part of that is like I'm just intrigued, and there are some similarities. Like, could I have been Sarah? Like, had I not stopped drinking, and you know what I mean? Like, it's super interesting, and like her disconnect between reality of what we all see and like how she perceives it. Like, how does the mind do that? Is that alcohol induced? Is that like a behavioral issue induced? I'm so like fascinated by it, right? Like, she excels at everything, has no job, barely can keep track of her son when she has like responsibility for him, drinks from sun up to sundown, but is not an alcoholic. She can't get drunk. Like, she is just a walking, talking contradiction. Do you know? Sarah, quite contrary. Um, can anyone, thank you, Krista F. Can anyone imagine if Miss Suitcase had to be in on choosing jurors with the state attorney? I was waiting for that because I was like, is she getting ready for voir dire? Like, while she's writing all these ridiculous motions? Stall. Like, what is she going to ask them? Because she's the one who's made so many claims that um she's never going to get a fair jury. So that, a lot of trial is based on jury picking. Like, a lot of what the outcome is who you get in those seats, and how do you get the right person in the seats? Voir dire. So now at least she's got like more of a chance, and the trial shouldn't take 3 weeks because we don't have to go in with her. May I ask a question, please? You know what I mean? So this is going to be efficient. Okay, I got to go back. Oh my God, there's a lot of messages in here. There's 296 people in here. Will you guys hit the like button for me, pretty please? I'm trying to grow the channel. We made 1,000 over the weekend. So I appreciate all of you guys who are here. Let me see. I'm going to go back. I'm kind of happy she got an attorney, but I don't want to continuance again. I agree, Carrie Ann. I agree. I didn't say it. Good morning, my lovelies. I didn't say it. I just hopped on here because I was late and I was trying to like soothe the baby. So you didn't miss it. But thanks for saying that. So, yes. Good morning, my true crime lovelies. Happy Friday. um, he's knocked out, as you can see. I gave him some Tylenol, like, right before we came on here. He had been fine before, and then he suddenly got cranky, so I figured they were the he got 4, 2 on each side, that it was kicking in, and he was a little feverish, so I agree, it would've been an absolute circus. I mean, it was already becoming a circus. Look at we got the clowns in from California filing random motions, yeah, for the judge and the prosecutors, and I think for Georgia's family. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want her cross-examining me. Imagine, like, how Daryl did, and it was, like, super creepy. You're the murderer, but now you're like, "What?" Yeah. Uh-oh. Big stretch. Mm. We're gonna go into ASMR mode because I'm right in his ear. If you guys let me know if you can still hear me. Hopefully you can. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let me not do too much to this. I think it's gonna take more to hang on. Let me put my boob away for one. Wait. Oh my god. For one. In my best Sarah voice. Okay. Ooh. Close to 100. Okay, I grew up in Fresno. It would be like 110. I don't know how you do it. Like, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. Um, did he try to sneak her in paperclip? I don't know if that was her. I do not know. Um, oh, is Nico in here? I didn't see Nico. Hey, Nico. How you doing? I'm glad you made it. Um, no, that is not mentor lawyer. Mentor lawyer is James Wavinsky. I can't remember. So many people were kind enough to like break down the pronunciation. What Wavinsky was something. What it's with the W. It's not to answer your question. It's not him, but his first name is James. Um, why? Super Kelly G. You're furious that she got an attorney or that she's asking for a continuance? Yes. I put it's on the thumbnail. Hopefully that thumbnail updated. It's James Owens. Did it? Yeah, let me see. That's his picture. I was hurrying, y'all. I was trying to get it together. I was like, "Oh my god." Was so many things going on to get to this live, but I was like, "Well," I went in there looking for the behavior reports because I'm like, "Where is it?" Maybe they decided like they're gonna seal it, and then I saw that and I was like, "OMG." Um, you definitely want to buy 2 cents. If you guys ever see them, like, hit me up. If you email me, oh god, let me put it in here. Hold on, I'll put it in there and then I'll see it. Um, I need to create one of those chats, like how Emily Baker has it, those texts is that two-way. Because oh my god, I can't be everywhere. Oh, Deanne. Is it Deanna or Dina? Well, thank you. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Welcome, welcome to the membership. Whole thing seems very a little planned stunt to ignore. I feel like that too, especially if he's seen her since August 20th and today's the 30th, so he's been see maybe they were building trust. I don't know, because Judge Koenig was clear. Even if you get an attorney, we're not dragging this out. But I feel like with this other, I don't know though, because remember Hobson had filed something saying that Sarah didn't agree with what the expert says. Like, what, ma'am? Did you go to school for this? Is an expert. So, but I also feel like she knows this is her last chance at an attorney. So she's gonna kick in the act right. Like hopefully, right? I don't know, it's Sarah. What am I saying? Like I just feel like by now, like maybe she went to act right school since this happened, since June 28th. But maybe not because she still thinks it's like the judge's fault. It's his misunderstanding why she's in this situation. Um, right, this part. Yep, yep, yep. If he will be her lead attorney or standby attorney. I think he's gonna have to be the lead, but maybe the judge will say that. But remember the JAC guy was like, I can't remember his last name. Oh my God. Anyway, was saying standby is like hanging back a little bit, and not like actively filing motions and objections. Like this guy, the way he filed it, let's just go back and look at that. Um, he's coming through to be her main boo. But he didn't file the notice of, like, maybe you don't have to do that when you're pro se, like, coming in saying, "I'm the new attorney," or is this all in one? I don't know. But, normally we would see the, notice of appearance. Sorry, my brain is short circuiting here. I'm trying to do this and share at the same time. Normally you would see the notice of appearance first. Maybe that's coming in. Because I don't think he's technically her attorney on the record until he files that notice of appearance. I'm not a lawyer, I just play one in my mind. Okay, let's see. Let's go through it one more time. I'm not sharing. I keep forgetting to share, and I'm so close to you guys. Wait a minute. Wait. I'm gonna see if I can put Sugar Bear down next to me because he's hot. He's sweating. Okay. Then I can back up a little bit. Okay. So let's just go through this part right quick. Comes now the defendant by and through the undersigned attorney under Rule 319, requests the court to grant a continuance of the 3-week trial set to begin October 7th, and alleges the defendant is set for trial by jury on October 7th. The defendant has just retained defense counsel, and a notice of appearance was filed on Friday. Oh, he did put in a notice of appearance. Okay, it's not on, he did do it. Okay, I am not seeing it. If it's there, it hasn't been uploaded to the site. Because the notice of filing, oh wait, what is this 6-page document? Oh God, okay, hold on. I'm on another page, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm logging back into the Miss Tiffany Moore Russell Court of Clerk website. Get a refresh. Okay, well, he's saying he did file a notice of appearance. So they maybe just haven't gotten it in yet. They wanted to get this in for all us nosy people. Okay. Met with the defendant 4 times at the Orange County Jail, August 20th. When was the last hearing, guys? It was the 14th, right? Which was a Wednesday. So when did he start coming? So the 14th is when she had it with the captain, and when the counsel for the jail let her have it. So the 20th was the following Tuesday. So the Tuesday, Wednesday, the 20th and the 21st, and then the next week, Monday, Tuesday. So those 4 times. And he's taking it at face value because she's saying that he is saying that she, defendant Sarah Boone, disclosed potential exculpatory evidence. So 1, it's potential. 2, does it really exist? I mean, we know Sarah at this point, and the truth ain't in there. And the evidence includes photographs, videotapes. So I don't know why there would be videotapes on this phone. Or maybe he just means videos and he's old school and saying videotapes. Calendars, text messages, notes, and witness names and numbers. So maybe she's looking for history. I think he's just writing what she said because I don't know why you can't. There's so many. Why the private investigator couldn't have. You know what I mean? Where is Mr. Lane? Couldn't have investigated their phone numbers, or unless she's saying her wet brain can't even remember their names. But then how do you pull them up in your phone? You know? But that she should have been able to see, right? Because that wouldn't have been you. She saw the text messages before. She saw the files before. Um, potentially corroborate her anticipated. It's all kind of, I don't know. I know the state of Florida is ready to try this case, though. That much I know for sure. Undersigned counsel has spoken with numerous, and he doesn't list them. Oh, that's what we were going to look at. When did she file that other request for the fees? So this, is there a date on here? It's probably just on the website then. Why wouldn't she date her own letters? That's weird. 8/14, filed in open court on 8/14. So, okay. So somebody else gave her this name, Eisenstein. Counsel has contacted. So which counsel? Or did she just copy that from someone? Okay. Let's get into her. I haven't looked at these other ones. I know some of you guys are like, do you never look at these before you show us? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This time I did not. But we're gonna go through it. Can you guys see that okay? I'm gonna put myself in the corner. Put baby in the corner. I'm gonna take that down. We're gonna make that bigger. Oh my god, this seems super tiny today. Okay. Let me read this part because I think I skipped it last time. So Sarah Boone's currently pro se and is allowed a laptop per scheduled hours of the day. There's always like this random I in here. I wonder if their keyboard has an issue. And this is by Shadasia, I think, or Shadada. Is currently pro se and is allowed a laptop per scheduled hours. The laptop had a low battery. Again, come on, guys, do better. And needed to be charged. This was at 1:43 a.m. Oh, no, that's when she logged it. Hopefully they're not trying to give her the laptop at 1:43. An entry was made hours ago by this officer regarding the battery and also inmate Boone request. Oh, no, this is an overlap then from last time, right? Hopefully. While collecting the form, inmate Boone, I informed to her that the laptop is now charged and should be ready. I also told her that I will make the day shift aware. Yeah, this we read last time. Okay. 8:19, her and her breakfast. All inmates were given an opportunity for shower time. Evening shower was available and offered. Inmate Boone verbally refused her evening shower. What's up with that? Oh my God. I wonder why they have to note these. I guess in case the inmate complains, because like really, who cares if she's walking around stinking? So Tashika on 8/19, 8:01 p.m. issued the tablet and the laptop and the USB and the hard drive cord and the small size clear USB, one medium size clear bag for hard drive. Okay. Small size. Maybe that was the cord. Maybe she means the cord for the USB. For the USB hard drive, the bigger one. Yeah, again on 8/19 at 10, she returned it. Ortiz Torres, officer, contact. Corporal Pagan and I engaged in a discussion with inmate Boone in the FDC briefing room regarding several matters. Not Sarah getting called to the principal's office. We addressed the proper channels for submitting request forms, emphasizing that they should be directed to the housing officer or shift supervisor rather than to county legal counsel. Scott Chevenel and Captain Giovanni for routine needs. No, she did not send it to Scott. I knew he was in trouble when she asked for the spelling of his name. Oh my God. They had to sit her down. Lord. But just balls of a burglar, this woman. Balls of a burglar. Okay, action taken. Inmate Boone, who has been incarcerated since 2020, is already well acquainted with the established procedures and confirmed her understanding of them. Inmate Boone expressed a desire to have a tablet available for use throughout the day. Oh my God. This is like if you are on your job and you get in trouble for like a disciplinary action and they call you in there, and while you're in there, you ask for a raise. Like they're telling you, like, get right. And she's like, okay, I need a tablet too. I understand, and I need a tablet. Please. May I have a tablet, please? We clarified that tablets are accessible to all inmates on a standard schedule, 7 days a week, ensuring reasonable access without the need for further action. Like, girl, stop playing. I swear she feels like they are her valets. Wait, I need to drink water. Sorry. Oh my God. Fascinating study in human behavior, I'm telling you. The inmate also requested that writing materials, such as pens and paper, be replenished as necessary. Like, again, the waiter coming to fill your water cup. Because God forbid you have to ask for something as she needs them. Although I don't think they can stockpile pens. One of you guys was telling me they had to check them out because the staff needs to keep track of like how many pens are out there so they don't become weapons. So, but she's saying replenish as necessary. So they have to come, because how will they know when she needs a pen if she doesn't ask? Like, is she saying for them, hey, Miss Boone, do you need a new pen? I have nothing else to do. I'm supposed to be keeping people safe, but I want to make sure you have the pen as necessary. Request denied. At my level, and escalated to the appropriate authority who provided guidance in compliance with our policies. Inmate Boone was directed to request her items via inmate request forms to the law library department. No further action required. So there's a whole department of law libraries, because I know we were speculating, does she have access? One of you guys said it was like across the street, and I'm like, oh, do they take her over there? Um, Inmate Boone demonstrated a willingness to engage during our dialogue. Okay, so she didn't have an attitude. However, not however, she consistently paraphrased my statements while introducing details that were neither mentioned nor implied. Oh my God, dear Lord. These poor people, I hope they get hazard pay, because ain't nobody got time for this. Consequently, I concluded the conversation and dismissed inmate Boone back to her unit due to her patronizing tone and her ooh, persistent misrepresentation of my remarks and the information I aim to communicate. So this is like when the county attorney was like, the court, doesn't smile down basically on people who put themselves in the situation that Sarah has put themselves. And she was like, so are they assuming that whatever about her thing? And what do you consider over and above? Like, that is patronizing. Oh my God, Sarah, she can't help herself. And this is her sober, you guys. Imagine. Drunk out of her mind, Sarah. Just imagine. Ultimately, inmate Boone expressed her disagreement with my stance and decision making, indicating her intention to file a motion with the judge assigned to her case. Ma'am, the judge is not in charge of the jail. You gonna be right back with, what was his name, Mr. Who? Chevenel. You gonna be right back with Mr. Chevenel in the courtroom giving you the business, because he's not for the foolishness. And so now she's verbally threatening them, right? Am I right? That's a verbal threat? The judge is not the manager, Sarah. Okay. Um, at 2000 hours, so 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. was issued the tablet, laptop, blah 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 blah, in the clear bag for the hard drive. Supervisor was made aware. Um, she refused her evening shower, so she's refusing evening showers and refusing breakfast. I don't know what is going on with Miss Boone. She's not given the time though, so maybe she's refusing it because it's saying 9:35 when this was logged. So maybe she's refusing it so she can stay with her materials, which is actually good, right? Because she has that laptop until 10. So um inmate Boone, she returns it all. Yeah, at 10 o'clock that night. So it seems like that's why she's refusing it, perhaps. Inmate Boone, laptop collected and inspected, returned to control room. Wait, I'm confused. So, oh, this is 821. So there's an entry missing when she checked it out because you have to have it to return it and return it to the control room. Okay. Rosa Gonzalez, 821. Oh, wait, it doesn't say anything. So 820 was the first time that attorney visited her, too, right? It doesn't have any of that in there, but she did check it out. Let me see. What time did they school her? I mean, scold her. This was at 10:14, so she was short on the laptop that day, and I'm assuming that then the attorney came after this because why would he just come for 2 hours, you know? Um, yeah. What was this time? So, yeah. It says to 10:16. I feel like they should be talking to her longer than 2 minutes. I don't know that these date observed, date created are always timely, and I'm not judging them, I'm sure they're busy. Um, okay, so let's get to this. So this is 821. This is the second day that attorney came, Mr. Owens. She arrived for her interview, so he's there at 8:13. Um, from her interview. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, maybe he came before then. Maybe he was there prior. Then she has to wait until 8 to get the laptop, right? And so then she arrived to the dorm from her interview. No, with the laptop. So maybe she got it earlier. Sorry, guys, I'm doing this in real time. I usually do these all beforehand. That's how I looked up the YouTube lawyer before. The razor. So 821, and then she returned it 9:23. Oh, this is PM. Okay. From her interview. So maybe she was with this dude all day. When did they give it to her though on 821? Yeah, it doesn't say when she got it on 821. She's returning it at 4, so presumably she got it at 8. They skipped it. Who cares about the razor? Laptop hard drive. I don't even think I would care about shaving while I was in there. Um, for what? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be in there. Let me go back. Let me not put that in my sphere, my energy space. Okay, this one. Okay. Hinshay was on it. 808. Given to inmate Boone. Please be advised. I verified that laptop was fully charged. Awesome. Inmate Boone returned the laptop at 409 and all of the accoutrements. Hard drive issued to inmate Boone. Something happened with the formatting at 20:38, so 8:38, and she returned it at 21:46. What is that? Oh, 11? No, I don't know. No, it's an hour later. Duh. So 9:46. Okay. Next day, the 23rd. What are the other days he came to visit? Let's just see if I have that somewhere quickly. Oh, of course I don't. Sorry, I'm just going back to look at the dates. 26th and 27th is when he was there, so we're not quite back to him coming in. So it looks like she's utilizing it more, right? So 8 o'clock, she was given, turned it back at 4. Okay, I'm glad. I'm actually glad that she's doing that. Inmate Boone returned. Okay. An extension cord. One laptop. 8 o'clock and return. Maybe she means the USB. Because if she can't have the charging cord, why would they give her an extension cord? So what do we say? The 25th and the 26th. So he was there those days. But she returned it, so someone didn't mark when she checked it out. But there's something going on with the formatting here, so maybe that's part of it. Okay. Oh my God, you guys. I want to go back now to Judge Kranick's 16-page letter so we can just like refresh ourselves on exactly what his wording was. When did he do that? The 629, right? Ooh, or 628. 16 pages, order granting. Oh, it's locked me out again. But I tell you what, my computer knows where I'm going. It does an autofill as soon as I hover over the name to enter on the clerk's website. The MacBook is like, "Oh, you wanna talk about Miss Sarah again?" "Yes, please." Okay, 816. I mean, what am I saying? 628 is what I'm looking for. So many filings in this case. I wonder if this is normal for like a I mean, it has to be like a lot of entries because it's been 4.5 years, but is this typical? We know it's not typical for to have so many attorneys. Okay, 16-page order. Here we go. Where are you guys? Okay, it's showing. I'm gonna go back to, whoops, that's not, there we go. Is sound still okay? I haven't gotten too low, have I? Can you drop a one if the sound is okay? Mm. Ooh, watching from Alaska. Yes. Look at ERP Thompson Queen. Thank you. I couldn't see all these. Okay. So this, I'm trying not to scroll too fast. It's later in the document though, so I'm gonna just scoop myself along. This is the story of all the attorneys. I want to get to the part that says, "You're on your own, kid." We're at Hobson. We just got to get through Cashman. Oh, God. No obligation to conduct a Faretta hearing or to otherwise warn a defendant of the dangers of proceeding pro se. Waiver by conduct. As of June 26, 2024, this case has been pending 4 years, 3 months, 5 days from the date of filing of the information. So they're going by March, not even February. So, yeah, we're not even at 4.5 years yet then. Well, maybe today, as of today, we are. Allowing defendant to her 8th court-appointed attorney, her 9th attorney overall. Oh, it is 9. Okay. Will only serve to delay the case further. So this is now her 10th attorney, guys. Oh my God. Encourage defendant to persist in efforts to prevent the resolution of the case on its merits, the concept of which was first brought defendant's attention on May 10th, 2022. Defendant complains, Bankowitz and Hobson. Okay, let's get to this. Order and a judge's. Trial management conference will remain set for Tuesday, September 24th at 1:30. That is the morning that the attorneys are gonna duke it out with the chief judge, with the JAC in front of the chief judge. This case shall specifically or oh my god. This case shall remain specially set for trial for the 2-week trial period beginning Monday. This is before he added the third week. Monday, October 7th, 2024, and will not be continued for any reason except by extraordinarily good cause, and such extraordinarily good cause shall not include retention of counsel by the defendant. So I think that is why Mr. Owens is putting in this extra stuff about the exculpatory evidence that's on this phone, right? Because he's trying to provide extraordinary reasons and this trust building and all of this other stuff that he put in there. So those are his. So he's saying not just because I'm new, right? He doesn't say in here I need to get caught up. He's citing exculpatory evidence. She wants to put up the battered spouse syndrome. He is saying all of the things that are on this phone. However, to play devil's advocate, she's had one we know from the deep dive that we did into the prior filings that Padilla had hired a forensic digital expert or whatever. So she's had an opportunity to review what is on the phone and have that extracted. She's had it since 2020, and the microphone is green, so it disappears when I go out of the from in front of my shirt. Sorry, it's weird. The state has told her at least twice now, correct me if it's a third time, that she needs to hire someone. I know in the last hearing she was pretending that she went to forensic school and digital analysis and was like, I want to extract the information. But she was very keen on getting the phone turned on, and he kept saying it had to be in some kind of box. I can't remember. So I feel like that might be the reason. And a couple of you guys said it, that the private viewing fell apart and that we're having this now on Monday. Of course, it's all speculation, but I'm like, oh my God, right? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. We've been on here now about an hour. I'm going to go through the comments and see what's snapping in. And then thank you guys who sent super chats and who joined. I appreciate you. I'm going to switch here from live chat. So 67% of you all said that he's not going to grant the continuance. I'll give you guys 2 more minutes and I'll close the poll out. So, oh my goodness. Wow. So Deanna joined. Krista F was like, can anyone imagine if Miss Suitcase has to be in on choosing jurors with the say? We did that one. Okay. Carabella became a member. Thank you. And Nico, thank you, Nico, gifted a membership. So I appreciate all of you guys. For some reason it doesn't show me them when I'm in StreamYard, but that's okay. We got it. Thank you. It's so funny that this lets through to the background, because when I'm like this, you could see the guy's chair, right? And now his butt. It's so interesting to me. Not his butt, just the way this works. Alaska's in the house. If I don't highlight your message, you may need to send it again, because there's quite a few. There's 596 of you. Hi guys, happy Friday. Hello, my true crime lovelies. He may grant it so he don't have to deal with her. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Joe, the young neighbor, such a great witness. He makes it possible to visualize exactly what she did to George in the suitcase and throw it down the stairs. Yes. Who was that? What was that neighbor's name? Let me see. What do you guys think the evidence is, these videotapes, as the attorney said, on her phone? Like, if it's from the same day, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. Because she's never gotten her phone back, but I don't think the state is allowed to, like, hide. I mean, they haven't hidden it. They've given her a full download of her phone. I just don't know. I do not know. I'm gonna try and play this. Oh God. Did I download the audios? Sorry, that was probably hecka loud, me clearing my throat with the mic right in front of me. When I edit the video, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I make so much noise. There's one person I used to watch who I could always hear their mouse clicking and it just drove me nuts. So I get it when people, like, we all have our little ticks. But the dogs and the baby, like, they're here. So okay, I may have to move this over. I don't like that StreamYard makes you. Oh, you know, we can just go right to the website. Let's do that because I think it's still, the link is still active. Okay. Let's see. Close. Oh wait, I'm sharing the wrong one. Okay, this is what they gave me, which I'm making videos out of. I'll do the audio, but I wanted to watermark the other one, so I haven't done that one yet. But here we go. So is it Brandon Moats you guys are talking about?
Date is February 27, 2020. The time now is approximately 17:48 hours. This is in reference to Orange County case number 20.
They'll probably cover it in Monday's hearing.
904. I'm currently located at 4748 France Lane, apartment number 2. France Court.
Will you guys, if you can hear the audio of the detective and the neighbor?
Yeah, because you can see it on the sign over there.
Drop a 1, just or.
Okay, France Court.
So I know if I need to stop it.
It's weird. For some reason, all of the signs are on the opposites. Are on the wrong side
on the wrong, yeah, the further
that's
side.
apartment 8 there, and the sign's right there on that one.
Gotcha. Okay. France Court. Apartment number 2 at the Tealwood Parks apartment. When I'm speaking with, can you state your name?
It's Brandon Moats.
And your date of birth?
April 19th, year 2000.
Okay. And you reside at this apartment, is that correct?
9-3.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you said that you've been living here since January of 2019?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. On Sunday, which would have been,
The fourth,
let's just double check. Sunday was the 23rd.
23rd.
Were you home that day?
I would have come home a little late that evening, but I would have been here around 8, 9 o'clock. I would have gotten in around 8 or 9 o'clock.
PM.
Yes.
Okay. And so your apartment is right next to apartment number 3. Does your apartment share walls with theirs?
My bedroom shares a wall with the lower half of their apartment.
The lower half. Okay. Do you recall hearing anything coming from apartment 3 while you were after you had gotten home?
Around 10:30 or 11 o'clock, there was a very loud crashing sound where I believe, I'm not sure, I haven't been in their apartment like my roommate, but I believe is the location of the staircase.
Okay,
So a little bit above.
A very loud, you said crashing sound?
Yeah, like it sounded like something had been like falling down the stairs. Because it started up high and then it ended low.
Okay. And when you heard the loud crashing sound, did you hear any voices? Like, could you make out if you heard a male or female's voice?
I couldn't hear anything, no.
Okay. Is that normal for you to hear noises coming from their apartment?
Not loud. But
Not that loud?
Not that loud.
Okay.
But I'll regularly hear like thudding sounds, like stuff being like slammed against the wall or something like that.
Okay. Have you ever heard voices? Have you ever been able to determine?
I've always kind of like tuned out if I was hearing voices.
If you heard something, yeah. Okay. But you have heard loud noises in the past, but not as loud as you had heard on Sunday night.
No, it never been that. I felt the walls shake.
Okay.
As the sound happened.
And do you know either of them? Like, do you know?
I've had a few brief interactions.
So I stopped it for a second because that's a one. Everybody is debating if something went down the stairs, but he clearly is saying he heard something go from the top to the bottom. It was very loud and the walls were shaking. If that's not George in the suitcase, I'm open for other alternative thoughts of what it is going down the stairs.
With them.
Okay.
I don't.
Like, do you know who lives there? Like,
yes.
Can you describe who lives there for me?
It is a sort of, I guess, like middle age. I don't know, like around 40s, blonde woman.
Okay.
And a Hispanic gentleman. I believe so. I haven't interacted with him much. I've spoken to her a few times.
You've spoken to her a few times. Okay. Anyone else live there?
I believe they have a little boy.
A small child. Okay. Okay. When you have seen them around, how do they appear to you?
They almost always seem either like tired or like tweaked out.
Tweaked out?
Yeah.
Okay. The conversations you had, the interactions you've had with the female, like, what do you mean interactions?
I remember one night she slept on the back porch of my apartment for some reason.
Okay.
I don't remember much, but I just remember like looking at the shade and seeing her like laid down.
Okay. Do you recall like maybe what month this was?
I say we should have a pool because that is a bet I would get in on. How, when and what reason she'll kick off the attorney from her case. My thing is though, in our age, I hope she won't because then she knows she's on her own again, right? And she wasn't doing well on her own. But what do you guys think? Will this man make it to trial?
I couldn't say. It was pretty early when I moved in. I would say the summer of 2019.
Summer of 2019. Okay. did you wake her or?
No, I just.
Okay. And by sleeping, you guys all have like a cement area, right?
Yes.
Like a back patio,
Yes.
but it's not enclosed.
No.
Was she in a chair on the ground
Like
or
on the ground.
on the ground? Okay.
I don't have any chairs on our back porch.
Okay. Any other run-ins with her? Things you've witnessed with her?
I was coming home from class one night. I would not be able to give you a time period on this.
Sure,
I don't
yeah.
remember when it is. And I was waiting on my roommate to get home because I had left my keys in the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember she came over and was talking to me for a minute, and it was very visible that like she was talking to me because she didn't want to be in her apartment.
Okay.
I don't know why, like I didn't ask, but
Okay.
it was just very evident that she didn't want to be there.
Do you remember anything she was saying?
No.
Her demeanor?
It was, she seemed like skittish, like nervous.
Okay.
I don't remember anything we talked about because, in complete honesty, when I was just, it was in one ear and out the other.
Right, yeah, you were just kind of, right.
With vague nothing.
Okay. Did she appear to be on anything at that point, or just she seemed nervous?
She seemed nervous.
Okay.
She didn't seem like high or anything. She just seemed out of it.
Okay.
I would chalk it up to be more like tired and paranoid or nervous, stuff like that.
Okay. God bless him. But is he an expert on when someone is high? Like, I don't understand. And he said he didn't see her that often. She seemed nervous. Because this is the one who says it's all about perspective, right? He's the one who ends up saying that George is a bad dude. So if you think that someone is living with the person who is bad, maybe you perceive nervousness when it's something else. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. And any other interactions with her?
No. Honestly, from the few times I had spoken to her, like anytime I saw her, I kind of just tried to go straight into my apartment.
Right.
There's a few times where I would walk past and she'd say hi or something, and I was just kind of lie and be like, oh, I'm only going to be here for like 10 minutes. I just got to change and head back to class or something. Like I tried to avoid.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you ever witness either of them on their back porch patio?
No, I don't walk that direction.
Okay.
Right? I don't have any reason to go like that.
Right. You guys don't have any like dogs or anything that you have to walk?
I don't have any pets.
There you go. Okay. Any interactions with the Hispanic male?
No, not that I can recall.
No. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that you think is important for me to know about them and anything you've heard or witnessed between the two of them?
It seemed like an abusive relationship. Just from every time I heard them, every time like I saw the two of them, it seemed rough.
Okay. Okay.
It's one of those things where like he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you think is important for me to know?
Nothing I can think of. No.
Okay. Do you mind raising your right hand for me? Do you promise and swear everything we?
I was muted. Sorry. Where did he get that from? That George was a bad dude. He said he hardly ever interacted with him. He talked to Sarah on occasion, and she seemed nervous. So it's got to be like from what Sarah is telling him, and you can see how Sarah has influence over people that are only interacting with her for a short time, right? From what we've seen from her interviews and her interactions in court, it's like only now that we know Sarah, or that we've watched her, and we don't know her. I don't want to know her. We've watched her interactions. We know how manipulative she is, but this guy wouldn't know that, right? I just thought that was telling when he was like he was a bad dude, but he said like 3 seconds before he really didn't interact with him. I want to play one more. I want to play the brothers interview because I'm working on a timeline, and so I'll show you guys the timeline, but first these are the receipts before we get to the timeline. Okay.
Because they were always fighting and stuff with the
Okay.
alcohol.
I just realized I think
he
I was
started
sharing the
talking
wrong
to me,
tab.
was
I'm gonna
calm, so
start
I was
it
like, oh,
back a
okay.
little
So
bit. This is the Juan Torres video.
Orlando,
Sorry about
Florida.
that, guys.
In the couple outside before. I'm currently located in my unmarked agency vehicle outside of 8315 Baja Boulevard in Orlando, Florida.
Sorry, I
In
was
the
hearing
car
it in
with me
my
is
ears.
My partner,
Scott Lower.
and in the front seat is, sir, can you state your name for me
Juan Torres.
and your birthday?
1/11/81.
Okay. And you are the brother to George Torres Jr., correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It came to my your parents had explained to me that you had a conversation with George
Thank you, Victoria.
a few days ago. Do you recall that specific date?
Yes. It was Sunday.
On Sunday. So Sunday, we're looking at the calendar together, the 23rd?
The 23rd.
Okay, so February 23rd, you guys had a conversation. Do you recall what time that conversation took place?
7:30. Well, it finished at 7:30.
Do you remember what time it started? Do you by any chance still have it in your call log?
Does it do it when... So it had to be 7:30. Because when you call it, clocks it. It doesn't do it at the end. It starts it.
It starts it, and
so
then it
7
tells you how long you talked for.
So it was 7:30.
Okay. If you do have it in your call log, I'd love to take a picture of it if you still have it.
It's Monday. Sunday right here.
So it'd be Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
If you click, I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
There we go. Do you mind if
Yeah,
I take a photo?
No, it's fine.
Okay. And so it says you received an incoming call at 7:30, and you guys spoke for 4 minutes.
Yes. We was talking. I was playing dominoes with my kids and my wife. And at first I wasn't gonna pick it up. Then I picked up
Okay.
because they were always fighting and stuff with the
Okay.
alcohol. So he started talking to me. He was calm. So I was like, oh, okay. So I put it on speaker. So my kids are there, like they joke around with him, and he was joking around with them. And we're talking, and then he's talking to me about when we was kids. And then, like a couple minutes after that, that's when I hear in the back start arguing with him. No, I have to call my brother. I have to talk to him. And he's like, no, I'm talking to my brother. It was her phone. So, and then she starts arguing and telling him that, no, tell him what you've been doing to me. You choked me, this and that. But he was calm. And he was like, okay, I gotta let you go. And then he said, I love you. And then I told him I love you. And basically that was it.
So she yells in the background, tell him what you've been doing to me.
Yeah.
You've been choking me.
Yeah.
Did you ask him anything about that?
No, because the thing with them, they would fight and they would hit each other. Because there was times he came here and she had hit him with a phone and he had a black eye. So it was like...
Did you witness that?
I didn't get to see it, but
Okay.
he told me himself.
Okay.
So
you guys know that there's domestic between the two.
Between them. And I told him, get out of there, get out of there. I would tell him, leave. And what's crazy is that he would leave, come here, and she would call and tell him to come back, and she would come and get him. Mm-hmm. So she had the car, he didn't have a car.
Right.
Really fast. Remember that, because in Sarah's interrogation, she said George would always come after her. Remember, she'd be waiting outside, and on his way to work over some wall or something, he would come in there. But the brother is saying she always lured George back. And then he also said, she had the car. George did not have a driver's license, according to the public records. He had an ID. And if you guys saw that one, what was it? The guy on... It made national news. It went viral. The one in Judge Simpson's court who was driving while he was on a suspended license, and he tried to say it was the court's fault or somebody's fault, when really what happened was he hadn't paid his child support. And so they put a suspension out, but it's only a suspension if you actually have a license. That's just a thing that they do. He had never had a license because he had an ID, and Judge Simpson was like, you can't have both. So he only had an ID. He did not have a driver's license. I can't tell if he had one when he was in Philadelphia, but because the brother just said that, it makes me think that he can drive. He just didn't have a license. He went around on a bicycle. Okay, just let's finish with that. I just wanted to throw that in there.
So
you said that he sounded calm.
He was calm, relaxed. Like he would... I can tell because my brother's been drinking for a long time. Mm-hmm. We tried to get him help before.
Right.
And I can tell when he was like really drunk, and he wasn't that drunk that night.
He wasn't.
So when you're describing him as calm, that's an indication that he hadn't been drinking that much.
That he wasn't that drunk. No.
Okay. When he's been drinking, does he get really excited?
Sometimes he gets excited, and you can tell he like slurs his words, and and I can tell like he gets really emotional, and sometimes starts crying and.
Okay. And none of that happened that
No,
night?
none of that.
Have you ever witnessed them physically fight?
I've seen them because I've been to their house, and she's come out all crazy. I went over with my wife, and they had called me to go over there. She had called me to go over there.
Sarah?
Sarah had.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'll come over. That he wanted to see me, so I went over. And as soon as I get there, she comes out crazy because she saw some guy peeing around the corner, and she was trying to fight the guy and argue with the guy. And my brother was like, yo, calm down, B. Just calm down. And it was like, I went to that. That's why I would try to avoid everything. Like, I would call, whenever he called me, I talked to him. I tried to talk to him. But it was always, like, they were always.
Did she physically touch George, or was she just getting really upset and
upset? Like she came out upset. But there's a person, I can't remember, somebody seen him because he was on a bike one day, and he told me, I can't remember the person it was because he was on a bicycle, and she hit him with the car, and I can't remember who the person was, and he told me.
Okay. Have you ever seen any marks on George?
Yeah, around his neck, eye.
Like what kind of marks?
Like
Okay, one more time. It sounds like he's crying, right? Like I feel like this is a normal response when your loved one has died the day before. I'd never heard this from Sarah. Like she had the fake cry in the interrogation, but he sounds choked up. I mean, I would be too. Obviously, it's your relative and your loved one. Does anybody know about her hitting the person? I think that's the first time that really registered with me that actually happened. Let me know in the comments because then that's another rabbit hole I want to go down.
She hit him with the phone.
Okay.
He had a black eye, scratches all over his neck.
Would you see Sarah every time you saw George?
Off and on. Like if I would go over there, I would see her with him. And then sometimes if he ever came here, I would see him. Or sometimes when I would go over there, he would just come out and I wouldn't see him.
So you more saw your brother than Sarah?
I think it was equal.
Equal?
Because I've seen her. Sometimes she had marks and stuff. So
and what do you mean by marks?
Like bruises and stuff too. They used to beat each other.
And where were her bruises be?
I've seen on her arm, black eyes too.
Okay. Did George ever confide in you about their domestic problems? Like, did he ever tell you? Is there anything else that he's ever told you about him and Sarah? Any arguments? Any physical altercations?
No, he didn't really like to talk about it like that. Like everybody knew it.
Right.
Like they used to come here and fight and stuff.
Okay.
And my mom wouldn't like it and tell them to go.
Right.
And I know one day she came, it's been like maybe like 2 months. My dad, because she always tried to hug everybody. Everybody didn't want to be hugging like that. And she pushed my dad, and my dad fell.
Yeah.
So.
Would they always, would Sarah always be intoxicated when you saw her?
Most of the time.
And what about George?
There was times he was not, he had drank, but he wasn't like drunk. Like he would try to like eat and try to have her eat because they was always drinking so much. So he was like, we need to eat, son.
Did you, like a couple of years ago, did you and your brother have any kind of a falling out? Did you guys get into an argument, a fist fight, or anything?
No. See,
Has he gotten into a physical altercation with any of your brothers?
with Farrell, he did, the one that had the long hair.
The curly hair?
Yeah. With him, but it was just...
How severe of a fight was this, though?
Not brothers.
Did he
Anybody go to the hospital?
No, nothing like that.
Anybody have, like, bloodied lips, broken noses, anything like that?
broken eye?
No.
Sorry to interrupt again. Okay, so just for context, this interview is taking place on the 26th. Sarah was arrested on the 25th. So this is after they've had the conversation with Sarah, and she alluded to like his occipital bone being broken by one of his brothers, and it had something to do with her. So yeah.
Oh, he had with my other brother too, with Mo. George had went to the hospital.
George went to the hospital.
Yeah, George.
It was a few years ago, like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5.
That happened because she said they was drunk. They was at my Mo's house, at Moses' house. That's the other one.
Moses.
His name is Moses.
Is it last name Torres?
Torres.
Okay.
He they had got into it because
I'm going to stop that there because there's one other thing I want to show you guys. And then the public surveillance. So I asked for the surveillance video, but because it's surveillance, they said that they don't make that available publicly. But in the notes, in the big PDF that they sent, this is in here. This is the 123 pages I was telling you guys about. So wait, let me make sure you guys can see that. Yeah. Okay. Let me take that down so you can see, and then I'll zoom in a little bit more. Yikes. How does that look for you guys? Okay, you can see it. So public surveillance video. This is the day, February 23rd, the day that he got into the suitcase. They got the video on the 26th, which is also the day after. So you guys remember in the interrogation, Sarah said that George went to Publix without her. I remember this because she said it was cattywampers, which I had never heard that word before, to where he was picking up the cigarettes. And she was like, basically, he did it to sort of, be nice to her or whatever. But this is what we found out from the folks at Publix. So Detective Scott Lowen and I, so this is Chelsea who's writing it, Detective Chelsea Copsel, and I responded to Publix located at 4000 North Goldenrod Road, Winter Park, Florida, 32792. Forensic investigator Roughgarden found 2 separate Publix receipts. It says recipes, but I'm sure it's receipts for Chardonnay wine purchased on February 23rd, 2020 in Sarah's trash can. One receipt was on February 23rd, 2020 at 12:17 hours, and the second receipt was on February 23rd at 17:39 hours, or 5:39. Detective Lowen and I met with Devin Jomro, who reviewed the secured video surveillance footage in the secured office the surveillance system was kept in. On February 23rd, sorry, I'm getting loud. I forgot the baby's asleep. On February 23rd at 12:17, George and Sarah are seen on video surveillance purchasing the Woodbridge Chardonnay wine bottle. On February 23rd at 17:39, only George was seen on video surveillance purchasing the Woodbridge Chardonnay wine bottle. He completed a sworn statement and downloaded on a USB. So why is that important? Well, one, Sarah said they didn't start drinking till 4. So if at 12:17 she and George went and got a bottle of wine, what happened to that bottle of wine? Because by 5:39, he's getting a second bottle, presumably for the both of them, right? So that blows her story out of the water. But I think this was another part of her blackout. She didn't remember it didn't transfer to her long-term memory. I'm not saying she didn't remember in the moment when it happened, but she didn't remember it so that she could retell it. Once somebody tells her that, like maybe it might spark something in her brain and it comes back. But she said they only got one bottle. And then she also said there was a half a bottle. Because remember, she was like, she kept going like this in the interrogation, like from way back. Well, we know these people are drunk every day starting at 9 o'clock. So how way back? Does she mean from Saturday? Yes, Liberty. Okay, come here. The dogs are about to go off. So all of that is, I don't know. So I'm working on, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this because it's coming out kind of blurry, but I'm just going to talk through it. I won't show it to you because I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see that. I'll just have you see me. Hi. And this is Liberty. She's a Yorkie. Her sister is Justice, and she's over there. Okay, let's get into this. So I've been listening to these and marking it out. So at 12:17 on the 23rd, George and Sarah go to Publix. 4 o'clock, Sarah says they were both at home painting and doing whatever. 17:39, George goes back to Publix to get another bottle of wine. 18:30, Sarah and George work on puzzle. So this is like 6:30 now. Work on a puzzle and then they paint. At 19:30, George called his brother Juan. So that's what we just heard. So it's 7:30 had called his brother. That's what we just heard. At 2100 hours, Brandon Motes returned to his apartment. Between 10:30 and 11 to 22:30 hours and 23, Brandon Motes heard a loud crashing sound that sounded like it started at the top and ended at the bottom of the stairs, and it had a big vibration that shook his wall. So at 11, right between 10:30 and 11, this happened. At 11:12, video number 1 was taken, and that's when the suitcase was upside down. And she's saying, that's the longer video, and she's saying, nasty things to him. Wiggle around. I want to get a video. Extra. And then at 11:23, video number 2 was taken, and that time the suitcase has been flipped upright where the zipper is at the top, right? And there's a drag mark in the carpet, like she's been doing something with it. And her shoes have been moved, the little flip-flops. So she's saying around, and then we know at about 23:45, 11:45, she is calling Brian. She doesn't remember that. Presumably she's upstairs when this happens, and he gets her off the phone. He says she wasn't talking about anything, right? Then at 12 o'clock, she says she went upstairs, but again, because she called Brian at 11:45, it's more likely that she went up before that. Then the next day on Monday, 11 a.m., she says she goes downstairs. Probably went now, and also in this, she said that like George normally gets up at 6 a.m. every day. So at that point, she's not really looking for him. 11:25, Brian calls her, no answer. 12:21, Brian calls her, no answer. 12:49, Brian calls again. She answers and tells him George is dead. 12:54, she calls him. That's the first time she's called him that day. She's spoken to him before, but he was calling her, and she's asking him if he's on his way. Then when he gets there, she calls 911. Uh-oh, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm back. Sorry about that. So I just find that like super interesting. And she claims she didn't know to call 911, yet in their history, she's called 911 any other time things have gone awry. But this time she didn't think to call 911. It just sounds super sus. I know I want to put up some of the things that were in the chat that I started, and then we'll get out of here because we've been on here for quite a while. Let's see, starred things. this one. So Bama Green Eyes, in my opinion, Sarah knew that George was unalive. The next morning, she came up with the plan, called Brian, since he always bailed her out, asked him to help her dump the suitcase. That would be a hell of a story. Because I've always wondered, like you hear those stories where like body parts are in suitcases. This is not the first time a suitcase has been involved in a murder, but the first time the suitcase was used to commit the murder. I always wondered, like, why didn't she, like, who would be looking for him? You know what I mean? Like straight away they wouldn't be. His brother had just talked to him. She said he didn't really talk to the family. I mean, I'm not saying I'm advocating that she should have done that, but that was definitely on my at the top of my brain. Southern Heathen 13. I love this name. I think this lawyer will last. He has the upper hand on her. She knows she won't get another lawyer and that she can't do it herself. She'll behave. I hope so. That's what my gut is telling me, but she flip-flops again. She's like the walking version of a contradiction. And then this I thought was interesting. James Owen always recommends plea deals according to his reviews. So I guess she got desperate because she wanted someone who was willing to, believe in her. And I feel like they all have recommended plea deals. And that's where she drew the line of, you don't believe in me if you think I need to take a plea deal. I don't understand how her new lawyer is requesting for the government to still pay for experts. Wouldn't she have to pay for them? No. So I did a video about this, about her first two attorneys. Mauricio Padilla was also pro bono, and you can file for cost with the JAC. So like all the experts that he had gotten, the forensic digital person and the psychiatrist and all that had been paid for by the state because she's indigent. She was living off of her $1,000 a month alimony while she was out. Both she and George technically were living off of it because he had lost his job at Ace. And she's not getting that anymore. Brian said he's not paying while she's in prison. And the judge on that case in the family court said he's not going to take up the matter until this case regarding the murder is resolved. So only her fans are helping her. And apparently slices of cheese, which I haven't researched, but I know you guys are always like, she has like 20 slices of cheese. I need to make a thumbnail with that on there. I have to look it up. Sarah will want to testify. She absolutely needs to put her narrative out there. It's her narcissistic behavior. It's also her only chance for anything. I mean, I'm not saying she's going to get off, but for a lesser, like she's going to have to explain the bad behavior of that she alleges. I'm not saying it's right or wrong of George, right? The prosecution, they'll put it out there so that the jury is not surprised, but I bet they'll couch it as they were both abusive to one another because they both have been arrested for battery on one another, right? And her arrest was actually a felony arrest, where his have all been misdemeanors. There's 3 that I saw on there. Hers was felony because she was strangling him, and then he kicked her to get her off of his neck. So he was arrested, I think, on like simple battery. Dating violence is how they phrase it in Florida. Devious dating violence. NRH says, finally, if Boone isn't care for her. Oh, yeah, I meant to show that one first. Sorry. I think she wants to testify, NRH. I think she wants to. She likes to talk too much, and she wants people to know her side, and she wants the jury to think she's smart and use the big words, not knowing she's going to come off looking like a fool. How can she use battered spouse defense when she swore it was unintentional killing? Yeah, that I don't know. If it's battered wife syndrome, it's intentional, right? Or is it meant to be? Yeah, because it's like you're so either filled with rage and can't take it anymore, or you're in fear of your life. Well, I only would really know about it in California or New York. I need to look it up for Florida, but in my mind, that's what it is. George's ex said he wasn't abusive. Brian said Sarah is. Yeah, fair. The judges always stated he was open to granting continuance for good cause. I watch Lawyer and he's been breaking down this case for years. If she puts in the work or gets an attorney, he'll grant. He said he wasn't going to grant it for an attorney, though, Mika. And my family calls me Mika. I like that name. He was not going to grant it for that, but I think the attorney is laying out another basis for it, right? She needs to build trust with an expert psychologist to go over things, and she needs to get the information off of her phone. There's videotapes, is what he said, and messages and things that would be exculpatory. And he's alleging she has not had that. So he's laying out other reasons for a continuance, which the judge has said he would, if there's a what am I trying to say? Some facts basically that are presented and legitimate, he would consider it then. Like he said that since she's been representing herself. So I think that's why the attorney peppered that peppered that paper with that. Yeah, right. Judge said that was not a Sarah and George were both married when they first met. So I didn't know that. For some reason I was thinking his wife was in Philadelphia. But wow, I knew Sarah was because Brian mentions it. I bet whatever she thinks is on that phone isn't on it because it's on her old phone. She broke throwing it at his face. I did not know that. I want to show you one more thing and then we're going to get out of here. Can you guys see that? So George was an artist. Oh no, you can't see it because I didn't add it to the stage. There we go. Now you can see it. George was an artist, and I believe this is one of his pieces that he wrote. And it's I don't want to show her like actual photo, but this is a caricature of him and his wife. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. That's on his Facebook page. So you can infer from that as much as that looks like him as much as that looks like her. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously it's not an exact replica because it's hand drawn, but yeah. They seemed really happy and loving from the inappropriate stalking that I've been doing on Facebook. I mean, as much as anybody's life is real and what they put on Facebook, we don't put the real. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, they seem. I didn't know that there was an affair, so thanks for that information. But yeah. But again, I think Sarah was that fun, good time gal. I know everybody is like, oh, I don't see it, but like she used to be cute, right? She hugs and touches people depending on how needy you are. You might need that, right? She's just touching on random strangers or wanting to hug everybody and always braless and barefoot. Like there's something that I don't know. She just gives me like surfer girl vibes. Like what's her like? Oh my God, the Fonda girl that was in what was it? Something Brown. One of the Tarantino movies. I'm drawing a blank. Jackie Brown. That was in Jackie Brown. Whatever Jane Fonda's daughter is. But she just gives me that like kind of vibes. Although she's not chill, but I feel like at first she's like a happy, flirty drunk, and then she gets crazy, and maybe he was attracted to that. Also, he was deep in his alcohol addiction, and probably his parents didn't let him drink at the house, right? And so in order to get to drink, and Sarah's keeps begging you to come back, it's easy to go over there. So all right, guys, that's it. Let me go attend to this little guy. He's back asleep, but I just want to rock him and give him some peace and quiet for a little while. I thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for the people who joined the membership and the super chats. I appreciate you. And yeah, if you don't mind, please hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And we can chop it up in the comments below. If you are the replay crew, I appreciate you. I leave the live chat on, so if you want to see what we said during the live chat, you can join the conversation there. All right. That's it, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.